Guys, welcome back once again. This is our fourth movie, right? And then our fourth episode.
Yeah.
Oh, we are doing well. We are doing well. Happy 1 month anniversary.
Where are we doing that?
Anyway, so since this is a very huge movie, it's going to be a little bit structured. If not, we're actually spend the hours to watch the movie discussing it. So I sort of prepared a list of questions. I took the key from Odiri. Yeah, so that I'll ask a question. I'll ask a general question for everyone. Then I'll be asking individual questions, and only two people will answer. Don't worry, there are other questions. If you can't answer this one, there are other questions. Just so we can save time, please. So welcome, Odiri, D, Sowedo, Dotun, and Afam. So nice to have you all back. Right, now, today, episode 4, we will be reviewing Zack Snyder's Justice League cut. And I would like to start with Dotun, since this was her pick. Yeah, she chose the movie. Cool. Yeah. So, how does Snyder's cut change the Justice League narrative in your point of view?
Snyder is a storyteller. Is a dramatic storyteller. That is what I can say. I watched the other Justice League. The first time I watched it, was Then I watched Snyder's cut, and I was like, okay, this guy wants to tell story. Like, we need to know everything. We had insight into every character's personal life, like their weak moments, their vulnerable moments, and then they still have to like gear up and be hero. What I just see is Snyder is not looking for shortcuts. He wants you guys immersed in that story, like become a part of it.
Okay.
Become a part of it, that kind of thing. So that was one thing I just noticed about Snyder. Like, okay, this man, the effect is wow, is mind blowing. It really, really goes for that's part of your nerves that pushes that emotion to be a part of whatever it is going on at that time. He really, really knows how to walk that storyline into it. The tune, the music, the moods. Sorry.
Is it playing around your side?
We can't hear you again.
Yeah, it's intentional.
I had to go on mute.
Okay.
It was intentional. Yeah, so it really, really went emotional. Like I don't know, I've forgotten the terms for it, but you know, it really, really hit that nerve that gets people so emotionally attached to the story. You see the character's vulnerable side, you see the angry side. So even the what's this guy's name again? Starting Wolf, what's his name? We showed the vulnerable side that yes, the guy messed up, so he's trying to redeem himself, and he has to pay back 50,000 planets. In what world would you get 50,000 planets? It's not our business, but see things from his own angle too. For a moment there, for a tiny moment there, he tries to get you to, but it's not his fault now. He's just trying to. Doesn't make sense. But see things from his angle too, and I'm like, okay, I get it, Snyder. That's what you do. For me, that's a good storytelling.
Oh gosh.
So the 4 hours long that everybody was complaining about, for me, I did not miss one bit. I'm used to lengthy sitting to watch movies because we watch series, so the 4 hours long was just not.
All right, thank you, Dr. Odiri. You are next. What did you? Oh, sorry.
Odiri.
Yeah. Are you? Where is doing? Or can I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead.
So Odiri, please go next.
Yeah. This one did justice to Justice League. I think Joss Whedon shouldn't have touched the project, but I also blame Warner Brothers for doing this because they meddle so much in the in their movies, and you can see when they meddle so much in the movies, not just this one, other ones too, it loses, what we want from it. So Zach, although I'm not a fan of his color grading, I don't like the colors he uses for his movies, that dark tone, but it was really good. For 4 hours, I think it was worth my time. I totally kind of erased what Joss Whedon did before from my head, especially that Superman mustache case where we had to CGI his mustache out. Yeah, so yes, and I also felt for Steppenwolf because he has to redeem himself. But the parts where I found quite interesting was Darkseid's part and Granny Goodness. I want to see how they're going to make Granny Goodness bring her into the DCEU, and Desad as well. So what they do going forward is what I want to see, but I don't have hopes for. I don't know. They need to change all the DC execs because I don't have hopes for them. I think this could be a very, very unique platform for them to do what they really want to do, but they keep messing things up. And now we are hearing Henry Cavill might not be Superman anymore. I think they want to scrap the whole Snyderverse away from existence. I don't know what they want to do and bring in a black Superman. But the movie itself was great. It was good. The time spent was totally worth it. And the beats in Steppenwolf got, oh my God. He didn't deserve it. But he also killed people. So yeah, so that's my initial take on it. I would comment for that.
All right, D, next.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not a DC fan. I would only watch most.
Sorry, am I the only one that's not hearing her well?
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear. You can hear. Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, so first of all, I'm not necessarily a DC fan. Wherever there's a Marvel DC fight, I'm there. Another thing is, I would watch it. I would watch the popular ones or the ones that have the popularity like this one did. So the first one, Justice League, I actually did look out for it because, okay, apart from the fact that I'm not a DC fan, I am a Superman fan. So I watched it, and the first one, I slept through it, and I couldn't bring myself to watch it so that I could compare it to the current one, which I kind of didn't necessarily finish. But yeah, I understand what they're saying. I think Snyder stopped this project because he lost his daughter or something. Wasn't that the reason why he stopped, and then they had to bring Joss in? Okay.
Yeah,
and I'm also a fan of having some humor in spite of the darkness, So in that regard, I prefer Joss's version. Not that I prefer the storyline or where.
But I prefer the humor part
version because it's a little lighthearted, and yeah, I like. Oh, I'm watching some action, but I'm hearing some quirky conversations and all of that. So that would make me prefer Joss's version, even though I slept through it. Now the thing about the storyline, the questions I'd like to ask, since I didn't necessarily
don't ask question yet. Don't ask question yet.
No. So yeah, no, I'm not asking a precise question. It's just a thought process. Like, okay, so what's the difference between the two? The most prominent being it's darker. It's what's that word? The version is longer, and all of that. So I guess I'm not the best person to be commenting a lot on this. So let's switch to the next person.
All right, so we do. I see you're deep in thoughts, and I've been dreading your answer.
Well, what? Yeah. So on one of my platforms, some people think I'm not a huge Snyder fan. I think he's a great visualist. And he really understands the need for a fizzy. He's like the CBM version of Michael Bay, but I would have to disagree with Dotun to say that he's a he's a good storyteller. I'm not very sure he's a very good storyteller. Many of the stuff he does, sometimes you are just wondering what's the logic of this beyond the idea that he wants to impress his viewers. I say this, right, because I mean, even from the Army of the Dead that was just out, you have all these ideas being thrown here and there, and then you are wondering where's the coherence. So for me, this version personally is not necessarily better than the Joss Whedon version, because the Joss Whedon version is not Joss Whedon's version. It was cut from largely what Snyder himself had shot. And then there were some rewrites by Whedon himself. Now, the reason why that happened, and I hear all this funny bashing of Warner Bros. Executives. These same people were the ones that supported him on Man of Steel, supported him on Watchmen, supported him on the atrocious Batman vs. Superman. In fact, despite the fact that BVS was relatively a disappointment critically and commercially, they still supported his vision to have two installment of this same Justice League. Now, some of us felt, and again, this is not about Marvel or DC, this is just about, look, good storytelling and consistency. To be fair, the Warner Bros. Guys, possibly because of the success Marvel was making and the money they were making, instead of them to calm down and essentially explore at least the Trinity in their movies before coming out with Justice League. And that's why I'm wondering what movie Dr. What, because we didn't get to know. So if we didn't have that installment of Wonder Woman, you wouldn't know so much about her, really, if you think about it.
Bear in mind that we have different views when we watch movies. That may not agree with us, not mean. Like, I have watched his movies too. What I got may not be what you got. Bear that in mind.
That is fine, and that's why I'm not just going to say I do not agree with you. That is why I'm expressing and outlining the reasons why I do not agree with you. So that's fine. So I'm saying that, look, the Flash, Cyborg. Now, Cyborg, they did a very good job on Cyborg's arc a bit, especially because you had no less than the great Joe Morton cast as Silas Stone. Now, the major actors, as far as I'm concerned, they are middling actors. They are not. I mean, Ben Affleck is a great director. Actor, for me, he doesn't have much range. He's good looking, yes. He's not even my own idea for who a Batman is, but that's fine. Gal Gadot is, man, a middling actor. Jason, my man, I love his charisma, I love his bravura, but you know, he has his limits. I'm just saying that the two people who really helped me really enjoy this Snyder version were Jeremy Irons and Silas Stone. That's Joe Morton, you know. So that said, I'm trying to say that it was a better and more coherent movie than BVS. I accept that. It is. It you know, it really lays out, but you know, your average director is not going to have 4 hours to express himself. If you can't express yourself under 2.5 hours, man, what, please, why did you come out of film school if you cannot? Ultimately, I agree with Odiri. Maybe Josh should not have taken that job because it was a poison chalice. And you can see all the stuff that has come out ever since he did that. But you cannot blame somebody for, in quotes, wanting to. This guy had done Avengers. But based on this nonsense, now people were even beginning to say, how good is Whedon? Whedon is a god. The guy has written great comic books. The guy has done great TV shows. As a person, he's probably an idiot. I don't know, you know. With women, with co-workers, you know, I don't know. But regarding this CBM thing, there is no comparison anywhere between the two. For example, you look at Man of Steel, which started out as a very lovely, nuanced stuff, you know, so you get that lovely backstory on Krypton, you get that lovely Terrence Malick, whatever, and then just in the middle of the film, everything becomes a video game. That's part of the indiscipline that Snyder has. There's a tone. See, look, there's a tone you establish for a movie. So we know that, if you are doing cartoonish violence, we know you are doing Tarantino stuff. Okay. But when you are one part, you are Tarantino, the other part, you are Steven Spielberg. And, the tone is all everywhere. You are wondering what's going on. Again, Snyder Cut addresses some of the criticisms that had been laid on, towards his stuff. So it's a very coherent, it's the first really coherent thing I had seen him do in the DCEU. 4 hours, I think, is a bit too much because the first 2 hours, because I had seen largely what was in the first 2 hours in the Joss Whedon cut, it was a drag for me. But immediately they had to go to Star Labs, and where Silas Stone quickly, having heard his son's voice, he then joined in the whatever. Oh, I thought that was a very good heist type of whatever, and then it picked up from there. Again, Steppenwolf for me, still your two-dimensional villain. With the usual, I will burst the unicorn, the desgi that you get from Teletubbies type of dialogue. But Marvel too is of course very, very is guilty of those type of whatever, like Ronan the Accuser. I thought, you hear dialogue sometimes and you're wondering what is going on now, what's all this, but I mean, no comparison with other top tier villains like Thanos, like Killmonger, those sort of villains that have nuance and you feel that there is, you can empathize with them. So all in all, it's a very good improvement on his Batman versus Superman, which was his vision. As if you remember, they actually also released 2 cuts of that, the theatrical cut and the ultimate cut. So you just wonder that why would anybody bash Warner Bros? If the interesting thing is that Snyder movies have never made up to 1 billion for Warner Bros. Meanwhile, James Wan just comes sharp, does Aquaman, 1 billion plus, people loved it, great, interesting characters. So sometimes you wonder what all the noise is about, but that's just me ultimately. So that's, that's essentially what I thought about the Snyder Cut. I think that moving forward, he really, really needs to listen. He needs to listen to his writers so that, he can marry the beautiful CG and the composition and all of that, and then find ways in which it can help with, better plots, better characterization, because you see a lot of that failure, so to speak, in Army of the Dead, things you'll be scratching your head and thinking, what just happened here, and all that. It's like Doi is offline at the moment.
She's gone for now.
For now, okay. I'm sure she'll.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be back. So that's.
She'll be back.
She's back, Abby.
No, I said she'll be back.
Okay, yeah. So I'm all for. So there's something he does as well. He makes things look very mythical. With all the slow motions and the lightning. That's fine. That's great. I enjoy that. But you've got to marry all these things, I think, and that's why you enjoy. So because of the things Thor went through in Ragnarok, in Dark World, when he storms Wakanda in Infinity War, you enjoy it more because you felt with this guy. He's lost his dad, he's lost his country, and all of that, and the guy comes back like a hero. Those are the things that really help you enjoy your characterization and stuff like that. Doing, I was just putting in filler until you come, but you are back, so yeah. Hello, Doing.
He's frozen.
Horrific.
Yeah, it's frozen again.
Hello, Doing.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I got exposed to COVID, so I can't leave my house.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, but you can speak. We'll
Sorry,
hear.
are you okay though?
No, if you can speak, that's
Are
fine.
you okay though?
Hello, doing?
Okay.
Okay, so maybe she's explaining that because she has to isolate and she's not in a place where she can get better service. Maybe that's why she's explaining what she's explaining that.
Okay.
Okay,
But
so
I wish she dropped a list of questions. Would have helped the whole lot.
so that, yeah.
Well, you're saying
while
did you do your intro though?
no, I did not. I did not do it.
I think because
I thought Doing had she said it'd be a bit structured, so I thought she already had a plan for that. I'm waiting for her to come back so they would ask her if she does have a plan. But maybe she forgot again. I don't know. So till then, but I want to also comment on Sevedo's viewpoint when I mentioned blaming the Warner Bros. Execs. Reason for that, I think Zach, first of all, he's made my favorite superhero movie of all time, Watchmen, especially the Ultimate Cut. That to me is like is high up there for me. But when he did the other ones, I didn't like them. BVS was rubbish. Man of Steel was okay, but I felt he could have done better. So I thought he was going to use Justice League to redeem himself. But why I blame Warner Brothers is that this is not the time for Justice League. It was too early. They were trying to catch up with Marvel. And Marvel had done how many movies? So all the characters, all the superheroes, you already knew them. So when they all came together in Avengers, there was no need for any background. There was no need for a background story for the Hulk because we had seen 2 Hulk movies back to back. There was no need for that. We had seen Spider-Man origin story from Sony 3-4 times. We don't need any origin story anymore. They just continued from there. We have seen Iron Man. We had seen Thor. So when they all came together, there's no need for a 4 hours movie or anything. But because they had watered down their heroes, nobody had any background to them like Cyborg. That's why I think they had to give him a lot more time, more screen time, so that we could actually understand where it's coming from. Even the Flash, although I don't support that Ezra Miller should be the Flash for me. I don't think he's good for that role. But it wasn't fleshed out. That was why they had to use 4 hours to explain these characters that were not explained before. They didn't need to talk about Gaga and Wonder Woman or Batman, or anything like that. We already know those people. But the Flash, apart from the TV series, we don't know him on screen that much. We don't know Cyborg on screen, except for when in the Titan series or in this series I love so much. What's his name?
Odiri.
Yeah.
Please don't. You are going to forgive me for barging into your talk, right?
No problem.
It's like doing that. Let me just quickly say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am so
Let me just
sorry.
go and say that. Okay. Yes, go on, doing.
I'm so sorry.
I was going to say something, but
my house.
Yeah.
I can't leave my house. I got exposed to COVID and I am self-isolating. Second time I'm exposed to COVID. It's not funny. I need to stop talking to people. So I'm very sorry. I cannot leave my house. Really, really sorry. Okay, so okay. Please continue. I'll continue with the questions when you are done.
Okay, no. Okay, so
please don't tell me I'm hiding again.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I think he just hung.
Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So look, I'm not trying to make excuses for Warner Bros. Executives, but sometimes, just like in our own governance, so I mean, sometimes you could say, oh, these useless politicians and stuff, but you find that there are things that are going on that because you don't know what's what's happening, then you are also misinterpreting stuff. Then you react, then they react, then everything becomes one kind. Now, I remembered some years back when Time Warner was thinking of spinning off HBO. Now you know HBO made Game of Thrones, made Rome, made some very great series, The Wire, Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, right? So there was this annual general meeting where the chairman was saying that, look, the chairman was taken to task and said, you people, can't you see Netflix and the money they are making, and they're spinning off hundreds of titles and stuff like that, and you people, you are just happy to just do a small, whatever I call it, prestige series. Why aren't you out there mass marketing this stuff? Now, so you see that the reaction to that is that they now have HBO Max. HBO Max now does, a lot of stuff. It's throwing everything at you, whether it's King Kong, whatever, everything is thrown at you. So sometimes, let's not lie, these executives are supposed to give return on investment. And you'll be surprised that shareholders, you see all these things we fans say, if your money was inside it, you probably would not be saying these things you are saying. It says take time, let it. You won't. You say, what? Can't you see your mates? Marvel, they are guinea. I need return on my money. Marvel is very, very, very lucky because in Kevin Feige, they have a person who is a true fan. He knows this stuff. That's one. Two, he understands money. Three, he understands marketing. This has allowed him, especially with its team like Luis Desposito, Victoria Alonso. His team. They've been able to do well. Sometimes I think Warner Bros is so lazy. They just say, "Whoa, anything goes." And so at the time, Geoff Johns, who was president of DC Entertainment, was brought in, and his vision clashed with Zack because he's thinking, for example, Batman doesn't kill. Why is he killing in BVS? This Superman that's always brooding and doing one kind, and Patent is telling him that, well, maybe you should have let the children drown to keep you or whatever. These are things that, to be fair, if I was in Warner Bros., I'd say, what the hell is this director doing? These are ridiculous stuff. So again, I am not making excuses. They've made mistakes, and to me, they are trying to work towards, correcting some of them. Or else we will not get Joker that made over $1 billion and won 2 Oscars, amongst other stuff. You will not get Aquaman that has done over $1 billion. You will not get some of this other really good stuff. So you cannot, because of Snyder, blame a regime, that has also done well in other stuff and has also supported Snyder as well. So please let me keep quiet since going is back.
I'm sorry, I had to go outside my house. It's empty, Sha. Yeah. Hello. Okay. So I don't know if you talked about it before before I came back. Steppenwolf and Darkseid, their power dynamic. What did you think of it? Who should I ask? Who has not really spoken? Dotun, how far?
I was the first to speak.
Yeah, everybody has spoken. I'm starting again.
No, but isn't Afam going to join in this whatever? What's wrong with you?
No, I am.
Is it because he's going to have his hair?
Technical. If I start talking now, saying things will go wrong. I'll talk another time.
Should I ask another person?
Dotun wants to talk. It's like Dotun wants to talk.
No, I was telling you, he said who has not yet spoken, and I said remember I was the first to speak.
No. I've been hearing. I feel if I ask a little question now, he will say I should ask other people. So I'm trying to ask other people, even though it's actually scratching me. So I only say that I have a question for you later. Okay, okay, just answer that one. Like the power dynamic.
Repeat the question again.
the power dynamic between Steppenwolf and Darkseid. Like in Whedon's story, Steppenwolf is like he's the bad guy. This is his war. Then we come to what's his name, Snyder, and then here now Steppenwolf's war is just a part, of a bigger picture and everything. And in Whedon's Scott, you see Steppenwolf being all powerful, and then here he's like humbled like a child, like he has this face that is scared of his father's disapproving face. I know people kept complaining in Whedon's Scott that anything murder, so like murder, yes, murder, and then they come here and he's really scared. This one is not the father dynamic. It's just that he's not shouting father like that. So do you think maybe they just switched it up and stuff like that?
Well, like from my very first time, like I said, it was a very good storytelling from Snyder's side. He knew how to dig into that consciousness of you to see things from somebody else's point of view, even though they're the bad guy. So what I see here is he would know that yes, okay, Steppenwolf is obviously the villain here. So really need to push that villainism in. At the same time, show a vulnerable side of him in his own side of the world. Everybody has that. He has shown everybody's vulnerable side. He created an avenue to have a bit of sympathy for this guy. Same way, when we're watching the Avengers, a lot of people sort of kind of agreed with Thanos' idea. He is the bad guy. You can't get rid of 50% of human. Yes, people like Ojiri. It's not like his excuse is not logic, but we are humans. You cannot say because you think of something, excuse me. Sorry, that's my life every day. So even though what they're doing is wrong, what this guy has done is he's a bad guy to us. He's a bad guy, but he still has somebody over there that is afraid of. He's giving us a concept that okay, this is his vulnerable side. He still has a soft side. He owes a debt. He betrayed his master, so he must pay. To us, that is not justified reason. You cannot come and take over my planet. You're the one that messed up now. How does that got to do with us?
Sorry. Now that you're mentioning this betrayal, I want to ask a question. Okay, when I was watching it again, I was not like, hey, what was even the betrayal that he? What was the betrayal? They didn't expand on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should they have?
The whole idea. The idea is he did not expand on it because he wants you to test for it. Now you want to know why is he doing all that. Next thing you know, another storyline is coming from somewhere. Another from the the concept I got from this is feeding you so much. You are still thirsting for more. You are criticized for somehow you don't feel some closure or some things. Now you want to know if the story comes out now, some years from now, talking about before they started taking over Earth from their own point of view. Darkseid before it became who Darkseid was today. You know how many of us will want to rush you to understand why Darkseid is doing what he's doing today. It's the concept they go for. They give you something to want to know. You want to know more. It's more stories giving you behind stories. It's just
hold your peace.
I know. I'm not even looking at Saturday right now. So if you don't want to argue, Saturday is always that dark critique that just comes to scatter it and tell you, hey, we're just here to have fun.
Hey, we answer after you.
What I just said, okay, I get where his own argument is from. Baba is a critic. I say, you are not a dramatic person like us. We'll see, he will give me certain stories and I will arrange it in my head and it will make sense. It will make sense. That I know. But that's my own point of view is different. I get you. So here is Zach wanted you to feel a little bit of empathy and understanding to every character, irrespective of where they are from. In his own part, his action is justified. He messed up. He betrayed his master. He's trying to redeem himself. Look at it from his own angle. Yeah, but we as the humans, it's none of our business that you messed up. Why should you take our planet as to you? Who are you to turn yourself to that demigod? So that relationship between them, it is just in the writer's part, just to me, it's another platform to create another story at the same time. Because it's continuity for me, though. I mean, in the other one.
Wait, first, before you answer, do you want to answer? Do you want to respond?
You mean the dynamics between Steppenwolf and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think Darkseid is like that father that expects, the highest level of returns from his children, and when you cannot do that, he resorts to casting you out, like I won't say prodigal son, because prodigal son left on his own, but casting you out like the black sheep. So to regain your father's love and your place in his right hand, you have to do something really grand, something majestic to get there. So at any cost, and that's why Steppenwolf didn't really care who he was doing it to anyway. He's a conqueror. So why not? When imperialists are going to people's towns or villages or countries to pillage and take and plunder them, they don't think of the welfare of the children that they're killing or the wives and the families of who they're killing. They just go and kill and take and oppress. So Steppenwolf needed to show to Darkseid that he's capable of doing that, of what is expected of him. So in his trying to do that, of course, as Earth being Earth, you cannot succeed. You have to basically lose, and that gives ground for a reprisal attack. Maybe that's when Darkseid will come. Although in the comics, Darkseid actually conquered Earth. So I think both of them. It's something that we've seen play out in different movies and in different storylines, and I see why that is, and it's a good thing that it happened this way. But I expected Darkseid to be very sad that Steppenwolf was just chopped off like a suya, and and he just crushed. You have no chill. You just crushed. Exactly, you just crushed his head.
He's a bully of the father. He's a bully of the father.
I'm now thinking whether he's like Omni-Man. He and Omni-Man, who is worse? Now, like
no, see, Omni-Man.
No, let's not go there. We will not finish. Let's not go there. We will not finish.
Yeah.
We will not finish. Let's give Seredo time to. Okay.
Sorry, Doyi. Seriously, what?
Are we allowed to compare?
Sorry, please. So sorry, guys. What would have been the equivalent of 50,000 planets if it was a human father, like the son? Your prodigal son wants the fathers, and fathers say, what could exactly would be the equivalent? If it's because to us as human, that sounds really, really extreme. Like 50,000, we only know of 9 out there, or maybe 8. Out of 50,000. So I'm just saying, look at that yes, that bad is, for lack of a better word, worse than a shitty father. He's not an upsetting father. He's there, but he's a terrible, terrible father. I mean, they right in front of you, behead your son's head, and he lands on his feet. The man steps on it and crushes it himself. And there, it's done with him. Find me somebody else. Okay, that one was quiet. Sorry.
Okay, but can we compare?
Okay, Seredo.
Seredo was wanted to say something.
No, but I isn't D trying to talk? My stuff can be long. Maybe one D to get it off our chest.
Oh, we know.
Just 2 seconds of can we compare Snyder's Justice League to the End Game?
What do we want to compare?
What are we comparing? The journalism.
Comparable, which is better? No, is it better? Was it more use of runtime? Or this is not a Marvel DC fight. I just wanted to ask.
It will lead to.
Let me speak on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let me speak on this one. Yeah. It's actually a good comparison because before the end game, we had the catastrophical deaths that happened and all that, and then Superman versus Batman, we now had the death of Superman. So basically, we can start from that place to try to compare them, but the satisfaction can't be compared. Endgame satisfaction is just
it's something else.
The satisfaction of watching
it's
that.
Something else.
You're like, yes, when you leave the cinema, you're like, yes, I enjoyed this movie. You know, you're happy the good guys won and all that stuff. Of course, we know, bad guys, they do one or two things, but you are just so excited that yes, the good guys actually came out on top. In Snyder's Cut, it was just too muddled up. Too many things were just happening. You won't even focus on why you're trying to focus on the bad guys. You're now trying to look at the good guys. They have their own things happening, and you're trying to figure out what is happening with their own universe and stuff like that before you now come back and look at the bad guys again. No, you can't even compare both of them, honestly. They're different movies. Maybe on the premise of where they ended, with the death of with the death of Superman before the Snyder's Cut, and then with the end game, what was that? The title before the end game and all that. So I don't think you can really compare them, in my own opinion.
All right, Seredo, well, please, may not too long. I beg.
I am not. I'm not going to. You know that usually I always allow everybody to do their thing. So
I know that's why we give you this thing. You touch every aspect. That's why I said may not too long. I know you.
The relationship between Steppenwolf and Darkseid in the comics is different from what we have here. In the comic books, Steppenwolf is actually Darkseid's maternal uncle. So it's not that there's no father kinika there, He's
no, but sorry, in the movie was he the father?
No. He
was like a father figure per se in the movie.
That's what I'm trying
to say. In the comic, it's actually
no. What I'm trying to say is maybe it's possible that it was not mentioned in the movie, but it's still the same relationship. I'm speculating.
Especially if Darkseid is the organ of them all. Let's try to give you a relationship.
I'm trying to give you just a background there, so that you would understand. Okay. You would understand the differences and whatever it is I'm going to say next. So, but for both, Steppenwolf is the war general for the forces of Apocalypse. Apocalypse is, the planet which Darkseid rules over.
Darkseid, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and he of course is responsible for the war expeditions, so to speak. So you know that in these sort of stories, if you have a ruthless leader and you were motivated to betray him because you want to get back to his good graces, then you're going to do all the kube and all the master kind of thing to get back into his good graces. It's interesting that it's interesting that Darkseid gets to redeem himself, but Lucifer in the Bible doesn't get to redeem himself. Very interesting parallel. But we'll come. But I'm just saying. So, if it is just the dynamics, really, just the dynamics, I just think that it's just you have a ruthless or pata, you've done something bad, and then you are doing everything you need to. For me, it is not necessarily the dynamic, but the actions of Darkseid. The few times he was shown, what does he say about Darkseid? First of all, the guy comes to Earth, wages a war against supernatural allies and all that, gets his ass handed back to him, and then he suddenly forgets where Earth is. So that's part of the very, very, very obvious things I say about
other things.
How will somebody to be fair, the average one of we don't forget places of trauma. Really, generally, well, you could say that it was the beating that gave him trauma, but I mean, you are
It
telling us.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That part does not make sense at all.
Oh, and I got that on here. So anyway, so my point is, this man usually has so many story threads. See, so there's a case to be made for commercialism, the idea that you want to have a sequel after and all that. But as a storyteller, you have working with a 3-act structure. You show the inciting incidents, you show the conflicts, and then you resolve. That's why it's called resolution. It doesn't mean that you are going to resolve everything, but the most pertinent questions you must answer. In fact, if you don't answer them, you are wondering, so why are you pushing stuff forward? Anyways, Dark Side, for me, was a cowardly type of leader, because I would think that, having seen all the steps Steppenwolf, no pun intended, Steppenwolf went through to try to get Earth and get all the mother boxes together so that you can then come and find your anti-life equation. Even as they are dealing with the boy itself, you will come out, you would at least, you will do something. Bros didn't do anything, though. You just said, okay, we'll go to the old ways, and they said, see you later, alligator. Compare that with the leadership skills of the Amazonian queen. That woman was, I mean, now, Odiri, if you say that one uselessness that Warner Bros. Has not reached themselves is the fact that we don't have an Amazonian TV series right now. Ever since the first time they showed the Amazonians in Wonder Woman, I just felt it was a no-brainer for them to have something based on either a TV series or a movie, but just give us something. I think that's a brilliant series I will pay to watch, and I won't care whoever directs it, or Snyder or Nolan, but just make it and let's see.
How about Elizabeth Banks?
What?
Are you sure you will? Because you said you don't care who directs it. Should Elizabeth Banks direct that one too?
Yes, because so long as you give Elizabeth Banks to work with a very good writer, and that's the beauty of the Marvel system. Whoever it is that's involved, you will always have to work with a think tank of creative people from production, from the comic books, so that you are not allowed to just do as you like. And then of course Feige goes through everything with his small team. So even an Elizabeth Banks, if she comes to Marvel, say, Madam, we know you are good though, but do such a
sorry. I want to bounce up something you said now, but I want to ask first. Are you done with the
yes.
Dark Side and Steppenwolf?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay. So let me bounce off from what you said now. Now we basically, if you watch the movie, it's the same scenes.
Yes. Same
actors, same acting, same everything, but somehow the cuts are different.
Yes.
There are two different. So what are we saying? Are we saying that the cut has more impact than the directing?
Oh, you see, there's a bit of nuance. Oh, okay. You see, Afam would probably understand this a little bit more. A cut, they said that the real work of making a movie starts in the editing room. You know why? Because you can alter the tone of a movie with the cut. You might start by saying that you want to make a horror movie, but the cut that you make, the angles that you take, the music that you add, and all of that totally changes the tone and changes the what do you call it, the end result of the entire stuff. So again, Snyder, and I'm wondering how he was able to do this, but to be fair, I think that he's also one of the producers, or at least executive producers of the movie. One of them, Sha. He had shot a lot of footage, a lot. In fact, the average movie that is shot, you are probably talking about 5, 6, 7 hours footage, 8 even. Then they must now whittle down all of that into something under 2 hours or 3 hours. So for whatever it is that he had shot, he had so much material and so much to pick from. However, Joss Whedon had the mandate to lighten things up a bit. Now, people always forget that Zack Snyder showed a rough cut to the Warner Brothers executives, and they did not like it. Or well, some of them didn't like it, right? And then people wonder. So
Sorry to interrupt you, please. Sorry, what's the background noise? I don't know where it's coming from.
I think it's lower now. Okay.
Okay. I'm not hearing it anymore.
Yeah. So it's cuts. Different people will come and so sometimes, in Hollywood, depending on how big you are, if you're a very, very top director, when you are negotiating the deal, you say, look, see me, I'm going to have final cut on this one. It's very rare for a director to have final cut, but they often do, the very top ones. But ideally, well, it is the studio that is going to give the final, we love this thing, go ahead with it. This is what's going to be printed in the theaters and all of that. Yes, if they don't have any trouble with it. But from time to time, when they disagree, when there's a disagreement and the movie is already edited, the studio will now re-edit it. And then if the director wants, he can say, no, don't put my name on it. So there are certain movies that you will see directed by Alan Smithy. Alan Smithy is just a code name for the fact that director doesn't want to take credit for this film. That's what that means, and usually a director's vision is a director's vision. That movie was Snyder's movie from the beginning, so it was very possible for him to put together, at least at the bidding and the financing of HBO Max, to put together something a little bit more coherent than what we don't. People are forgetting that there was a timeline. Time was ticking. The man lost his daughter. He had to step aside, but I think people who didn't like what he was doing at that point now stepped in and all of that, and then brought in Joss Whedon and said, you directed the biggest CBM ensemble superhero movie of all time. Come and help us. This is what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. And he did that according to, the mandate. And there was really no time. Trust me. If they gave Joss Whedon money to do his own Justice League his own way, that would be Joss Whedon cut. That's in his own way. We wouldn't be saying a lot of these things. But I think that his cut was rushed. They were trying to meet what?
Facts show that Whedon had to shoot like 80% of the shots all over again.
I know. Well, there are people who dispute that. There are people who dispute that.
But if you watch the movie, there was a lot. There were too many similarities. It's just that Snyder either expanded it. No. It's Arkham I'm referring to.
But that's what the facts are saying. That's what the facts are saying. Facts is that, yeah.
I'll be very surprised. I'll be very surprised because the Snyder's cut is not the beginning part, like what Sewedo said. The beginning part is the same thing we saw in Joss Whedon's movie.
Yeah, the first 2 hours is largely
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Largely what we saw. Said that 20%. Let me read what I'm reading here now. It says that Whedon ended up rewriting and reshooting most of the movie.